Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is April 29th, and right now we are looking at the lower level water vapor loop. Check out this next storm system out over the Pacific Ocean. This one has eyes on the west coast of the USA here. This is going to leave the Pacific Northwest in a southeast flow, very moist, affluent aloft. This is going to bring thunderstorm chances and multiple thunderstorm chances at that across the region here as we go on in through next week. We'll take a look at that in some detail. First, looking at SeaTac yesterday, 80 degrees, record high for the day. 80 is the record high again today. We're probably headed for some upper 70s, but we may get close to that 80 degree mark. It just depends. Something to watch at least today. We might not quite get there though. This is looking at rain and thunderstorm threat as we go through next week. National Weather Service talking about frequent lightning, hail, heavy rain Monday through Wednesday, potentially even on into Thursday and Friday coming up here. We'll watch that as we go day by day, but a great graphic here from the National Weather Service Spokane. And some of their wording was quite strong here as we go through Monday through Friday. An anomalously warm and moisture-laden air mass will bring threats of severe thunderstorms, river rises, and burn scar flooding throughout the week coming up. So we've got some active weather here across Pacific Northwest we have to watch closely. Significant stream and river rises as we go through early May coming up here. This is mainly due to that snowpack and the temperature rises here and the melting going on, but any kind of precipitation from these thunderstorms is just going to exacerbate that threat. This is temperature outlook across eastern Washington, some of Oregon, Idaho Panhandle, even up into BC a bit here as we go through Sunday. Pretty darn warm across the area. A lot of these stations here are near their record highs as we go through Sunday, and we're going to be kind of variable, but fairly warm here east of the Cascades as it depends on where the convection sets up and the timing of it will impact some of these temperatures. Now looking at the dynamic tropopause as a potential temperature, this kind of shows that trough here moving towards the west coast, and you'll see it drop down across California, and there's that defluent, moist southeast flow aloft. It's going to bring those multiple rounds of convection potentially all the way in through Thursday, maybe even Friday morning there before that finally kicks off, and another deeper trough sets up here off the coast of North America, and we'll see how this one goes. We have plenty of time to watch it and see what impacts it's going to bring with it. This is looking at 24-hour surface temperature change. So as we go into Sunday afternoon, look at this. All the way up the west coast of BC, down through western Washington, Oregon, California here. Some places are going to be 20 to 25 degrees below what you were on Saturday. So big cool down coming. You're definitely going to notice it west of the Cascades. Here we're looking at the UW model. This is convective available potential energy. And we go through Sunday night there. You can kind of see the destabilization of the atmosphere as we go through Monday afternoon, as we go on in through Tuesday as well. Look at some of this cape just build up across the region. Going on in through Wednesday, something similar in places west of the Cascades could be included here as we go through the week. These thunderstorms can move off the Cascades and into the lowlands of southwest BC, Washington, and Oregon as we go through the week. We'll have to watch that closely. And here we go on in through, what is that, Thursday evening there. You can just see the plentiful thunderstorm juice here across the Pacific Northwest. This is looking at precipitable water, and I'm just kind of showing you here where you see the red, you're looking at above normal precipitable water, that deep moisture here, and you can kind of see it getting wrapped back around this low pressure over California and streaming back into the Pacific Northwest as we go through the week here. Multiple rounds of it. Yeah, so this is going to be interesting, folks. This is something that's going to be quite fun to watch if you like thunderstorms across the Pacific Northwest. So we're going to monitor these impulses as they come one by one, day by day. This is looking at lightning flash density potential here. This is yesterday afternoon's European. You can see some of this activity. It may even start to pop up as we go through the day Sunday. Some of the models are showing some convection across the Cascades even as we go through Sunday night. Now we're going into Monday morning. You can see some of that activity potentially continue. We go on into Tuesday. You can see some of this streaming across the Cascades and potentially into western Oregon. That it could include western Washington. Then we go on into Wednesday and Thursday. You can see some of this activity creeping off the Cascades as well. So yeah, we're going to have multiple rounds of thunderstorms here across the region. Now looking at that trough at 10,000 feet, you can see the winds. You can see it approach the coastline, drop down over California, and leave us in that southeasterly flow as we go through the week coming up here. And this is just going to kind of park itself for a bit right off the California coastline. Now looking at surface-based CAPE, as you can see individual ensemble members here, pretty good agreement here. This is for Spokane. This would be Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday, Thursday. Multiple rounds of that convection is possible here. Pretty good agreement there in the ensemble runs. Now here we go. I'm cherry-picked the sounding here, and you can see this unstable atmosphere here. across some of the areas showing up. I don't know if we're going to have enough shear to be going super cellular with some of this stuff, but definitely the potential for some severe thunderstorms. It's close. You usually need about 35, 40 knots there from surface to 6 kilometers, and you're getting about 31. So it just depends on how things line up, but we do have a very unstable air mass coming in here, and I'm getting some tornado sounding still showing up here as well, but tornadoes definitely not the main threat here. We're looking at more of a lightning threat, some flash flooding potential, and some dangerous lightning. This is looking at Seattle, Tacoma, and it called for 77 yesterday, 76 today. Does that mean we're headed for 79 today? Could be. We could get close to that 80 degrees, but we just might miss it there by a bit. And you can see some fairly seasonable temperatures. Even 61 compared to what we have been getting is not bad here as we go through Sunday. So while it's going to be a cool down, it's still not going to be that chilly. And then maybe a bit of bounce back in temperatures here as we go through midweek here, and then kind of staying seasonable as we go through the extended. We'll see what that next trough brings that I talked about as well. We'll look at that day by day. Plenty of time to look at that. Portland probably going up into the low to mid 80s again today, and then the cool down comes tomorrow. This is Newport. Check it out. If you guys want to cool down today, get out towards the Washington, Oregon coastline, up towards Vancouver Island, right on the coast there. You're definitely going to be feeling those chillier temperatures here. This is Quileute up on the Washington coast as well. Here's Rogue Valley, Medford Airport there. Look at this, probably up towards 90 degrees again today before that cool down starts to kick in. This is Boise. They're not cooling down much here as you go through the week. 80-degree temperatures plus, maybe even up towards 90 degrees here as we go through the week for Boise, Idaho. This is looking at that scattered nature of precipitation. You can see it backed off a little bit. As you know, this is going to be really fickle, and these values are going to change as we get closer to these events occurring, with some thunderstorms potentially moving off the Cascades out over the lowlands of Southwest BC, Western Washington, Western Oregon. Now, this is yesterday afternoon's European run, 24-hour precipitation total in inches. And you can see that it's starting to fire some stuff up here as we go through Sunday morning across the Cascades. This could be thunderstorm activity here. You got to watch that closely. You see it spreading northward over the higher terrain of British Columbia by the time you go into Sunday night. And you can see some of that activity coming across eastern Washington. That would be thunderstorm potential as well. Then you can see more storms creeping out of the south here as you go into Monday afternoon. And then you see that trough digging down across California, opens up this southeasterly flow, and you can see some of those thunderstorms likely to move off the Cascades into western Oregon. Keep that into motion here, and you'll see that southeasterly flow. We're going to have multiple rounds of this stuff going on here, folks, and you can see some pretty good precipitation amounts. This could be really favorable for some of the drought-stricken regions here on the east slopes of the Cascades through Oregon, as another deep trough comes towards next weekend as well. So we got an active period coming here for the Pacific Northwest. I know the weather watchers and storm chasers out across the region here are going to be loving this. 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook here. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat a little bit here, folks. Now you can see basically that trough setting up here across California here, and you can see the warmer conditions across from the eastern Washington versus southwest Oregon. And again, we're looking at above average precipitation probabilities here through early May. So yeah, active period coming up here, folks. So heads up here. We're going to be dealing with some thunderstorms across the region, could potentially be impacting the entire Pacific Northwest coming up. Flooding potential, dangerous lightning, some hail, some gusty winds are possible with this activity as well. So we'll be watching this day by day. I may actually go out and chase dust devils today. I'm not sure. It's probably the best day to do it. There's some light winds out there across some of Ritzville, so I may go out there and see what I can find. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day. We will do this again tomorrow. We'll look at the storms in a bit more detail as we go. We'll check out that next trough as well. So anyway, I will talk to you guys tomorrow if I don't see you in a live stream today.